What's up, friend? Kris Krohn here, and today, and especially to my real estate partners out there, I'm making a video talking about your first year of investing and what success really looks like. I'm actually going to be diving in the profit and loss statement. I'm going to talk about accounting, and ultimately, I'm going to help you understand why you can make money and it looks like you lose money in the eyes of the government. Trust me, all good things, but your first year is unlike any year after, so I'm going to break it all down for you in this video.
'Cause we're gonna be legends. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary.
So check it out. Today I'm actually going to share with you the P&L from one of my partners. We bought 7 properties in the first 12 months. And we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. And I'm going through everything. I thought, I really need to make a video to help my partners and people in real estate understand what long-term investing looks like on single-family homes when you're doing it the right way. It's amazing that if you're not an accountant and you're just a real estate investor, you can look at the numbers and get overwhelmed or not understand it. So today I want to break it down for you, and I really want to help you understand exactly what it looks like. So check it out. I actually have up here for KI and PO LLC the profit and loss statement from April through June. So not quite a year, but pretty close. And you've got a property here on 1363 Congo Drive and one on 981 Park Haven. This one's Osprey Way. That one's a different one on Osprey Way. And then we've got another page right here. And this will show you 1, 2, 3 more, and then totals. And I want to share with you a couple of things that we track that are important for us. The first thing is, here we have our income. So we actually show all of our income across the board on these properties. And if we just kind of go to the second page, I want to show you what this looks like. The income across the board is showing about $31,000 of income on these 7 properties for not quite a complete year. Next, we have all of these expenses: business license and permits, HOA fees, insurance expense, interest expense, which is really big deal, professional fees, management fees, property taxes, utilities. And then we have our total expenses. Now you're going to see in total that we started with $31,000 of income, but we only have $33,000 expenses. So it looks like we have $2,300 worth of loss. And what this is that when you buy a property its first year, you're getting it rented out, you're getting it set up. So, think about it that for the year, it's only rented for many of these properties for only 3 months or 5 months or 7 months or 9 months. None of them are rented out for an entire year. So when you look at the math on it, it's like, wow, you bought all these properties, it looks like you're losing money. But wait, it gets better. Then you take the depreciation and amortization and pull those out, and a $2,300 loss now turns into a $15,000 loss. And you're like, Kris, we're losing money hand over fist. Why are we doing this? Friends, this is brilliant accounting. Thank you, U.S. government. Our Constitution is a heavy promoter and supporter of real estate investing. And what this really means is that on paper, it looks like we lost $15,000. In actuality, we didn't. In fact, if we were to fast forward into the second year of investing and have a full year on each of these properties, our financial balance is actually going to be really positive. It's going to look really good. That's a big part of our cash on cash ROI. Even after all that, we're still going to show a loss. Why am I so excited about a loss? Doesn't it seem like this is upside down? Welcome to the confusion of investing and why people don't get it. You want to make as much money as you can and show as much of a loss as possible. And after you've owned real estate for the first year, generally speaking, you're expense heavy out the gate. Then you start making this positive money. Your account is building, building, and building. But you should, if you do it right, still be showing a loss, which means at the end of the year, when taxes come out from me and my partner, we're going to actually be able to decrease our taxable income and actually save money. By the way, if you pay more than a penny, you might be paying too much. If you pay too much in taxes, you need to own more real estate because you're not writing off the interest, the depreciation, and all the different expenses that come with legitimately owning business and real estate. So I obviously get really geeked out, excited when I see this. This right here, my friends, is a healthy year 1 portfolio. We've got $20,000 sitting in the bank account managing this, knowing that we were going to end the year with around a $2,300 loss. We're going to show a $15,000 loss, but once we get a full year behind us and we get our full second year, then the numbers get really positive and juicy. By the way, some things that don't get taken into account: Principal reduction. 5% of your ROI on a single family home literally comes from the money that the bank is putting towards the principal, that if we were to add in here, we're well positive. But on top of that, there are some other things that are not factored in here. The other thing not being taken into account is the way that the property is growing, and it's also its appreciation. So there's all these benefits, but most of the benefits actually don't reflect well on, a CPA's accounting profit and loss statement. And I wanted to make this video for you today because I wanted to just start by creating this awareness that says, according to accounting, your real estate looks really bad on paper. That is by design. That's one of the big reasons why we're actually doing this, because we know that we're reducing the principal. I get that. There's positive cash flow and it can still show as a loss. I get to depreciate the asset, which shows way bigger losses. So by the time we get to year 2, we're starting to harvest and make fantastic money, but we're still showing a loss. The exciting thing, however, happens in year 5. Let me tell you what that actually means. So most of these deals that we're doing, they have an ROI, which stands for return on investment, on average between 25+%. Now, just so you understand what a 25% ROI means, if I make 25% this year and 25% the next year, that's 50%. If I do that for 2 more years, that's 100%. If I go for 5 years and sell this property, I basically have created in 5 years, conservatively, a 100% ROI. Now, what does this mean? This means that whatever money I put in doubled, for example. So if you take $100,000, you multiply it by 5 years at 25%, you're gonna double your money. Now, some of you are doing the math and you're like, well, Kris, technically you've more than doubled it, but you have some closing costs and some things like that. That's why I'm being conservative and just saying, hey, round down. We doubled the money, right? So check it out. In 5 years, you're like, well, I doubled my money. I couldn't have done that in a 401k. I couldn't have done that in an IRA. I couldn't have done that anywhere else. And yet, I can't retire on 200 grand. That's not that exciting. But then you say, well, $200,000 times 5 more years at 25%, what happens to this again? You're smart. You know the answer. It turns into $400,000. 400,000 turns into $800,000. 800,000 turns into 1.6 million. 1.6 million turns into 3.2 million. 3.2 million turns into 6.4 million, then 12.8 million. Listen, I know that you want to retire sooner than later, and you don't need a lot to be able to actually retire, but you need to understand that this is going to keep growing. So when we get to like this idea of year 1, I wanted to make this video primarily for my partners. And by the way, for those of you that want to know, I actually find so many amazing deals with my nationwide network of 200 experts that we are actually taking on new partners from time to time. There's an interview process. If you want to learn more about it, I actually shot a video series right over here that's going to pop up. So click on that, and if you watch it, you'll get fully educated on how I can partner with you, have my team do all the work, and actually split the money. At the end of the day, year 1, it's like, well, Kris, how is this good news? We lost money. It's like, That's only what it looks like on paper. This is all part of an intricate plan. Year 1, when you have a partial year, the number's going to be negative, and you're going to get a great write-off. The next year, it's positive. It's still going to show as a negative. The next year, it's positive. It's going to show as a negative. It's positive. It's going to show as a negative. And then all of a sudden, you can sell off your portfolio and be like, whoa, my original money I put in has doubled. Let's go buy twice as much real estate and do it again. And then quadruple the real estate, and then on and on and on. Now, obviously, this is a patient strategy, right? It's not make money overnight, but it is leave a legacy for the next generation and achieving financial freedom at some point along the way. And there's a number of things that you can do to actually accelerate the process. One of those things is I've got my Maverick program where I show people how to buy real estate without money and without credit. So you're never bound by what you got. I will say though, if you got money sitting in 401ks and IRAs and annuity and home equity, that money is not paying you. It's not doing anything for you. It's growing so slow that if I were to show you these numbers, look at the reality of this. If you were to take an average 401k or IRA, they're actually after fees producing 4%. How long will it take for you to double your money at 4%? Well, you divide it by 72. because that's the rule of 72. It's the way it works out. And that basically comes out to doubling your money in 18 years. What do you want? To work a 35-year period of time? You can double your money twice. In this strategy, you could double your money 7, 8 times. So that's why I was able to retire at such a young age and then become financially free. And obviously I'm working my butt off half the time because now I'm just loving my life doing this, educating and training people and helping them figure out how to get where they want. But the other part of my time is literally just playing and having fun and enjoying the fruits of my labor. So my friends, I want to make this video for you and let you know, year one investing, it does not look sexy when you actually pull up the document. Hopefully you can read it a little better now and understanding, wait a second, the depreciation is driving it into a strong negative number. That's one of the biggest culprits right there, which we do on purpose, so that even when we're profitable, we're still showing a loss, which means that at some point you can hit a critical mass of not paying taxes at all, perhaps ever again. So there's some pretty cool implications with everything that we're talking about here. Year two, when we look at this, it's going to be more robust, more full, and it's going to have the full year of real estate impact, and then it gets growing until we can double the portfolio. So my friends, that's Real Estate 101, reading that first month's report, that first year, seeing exactly what it looks like. If you want to learn more about partnering, click over here, watch the series. I set it all up for people that want to learn how to do real estate in the most intelligent way possible. Click the button, I'll see you there.